हेलो। Good morning, everyone. Welcome you all to Anushashan classes. And I'll just take your 5 minutes before Sanjay sir will start with history. Correct. I'll just introduce you the features of this course and how you have to use the features which are provided with this course. Fine. Now, Anushashan is a flagship Sarvasya course. And those of you who don't know, we run these courses especially after the prelims and before the mains. So between prelims and mains this course runs, and this course is not for beginners, means no admission will be given to those who have no idea about the GS paper 1 subject. Reason is because this is not a conceptual theory based class. This is a proper serious disciplined way में ये revision through answer writing classes है. ठीक है. Now the pattern is simple. Suppose the faculty will take up a subject, will take up a topic, say 1857 for that matter, right? तो 1857 का जो क्विक रिवीजन बेस्ड पार्ट है, स्कॉलर्स कोड, पॉइंट्स, पैराग्राफ्स, मतलब इन जनरल कॉजेस, कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, प्लेसेस, इंस्टांसेस, टेक अवे पॉइंट्स, इंपैक्ट, लॉन्ग टर्म, शॉर्ट टर्म, वो सारे फैकल्टीज एक क्विक रिवीजन के थ्रू बता देंगे आपको. ठीक है. सपोज 15 मिनट, 20 मिनट, आधा घंटा लगा. उसके बाद आपको एक क्वेश्चन लिखा जाएगा बोर्ड पे, उसको लगभग 10 मिनट के अंदर यू ऑल हैव टू अटेम्प्ट इट इन द क्लास इटसेल्फ. डन. उसके बाद सपोज नेक्स्ट टॉपिक कोई लिया गया, रिफॉर्म, सोशो रिलीजियस रिफॉर्म्स, उसके बारे में भी सेम पैटर्न फैकल्टीज अपनाएंगे और फिर आपको एक क्वेश्चन दिया जाएगा लिखने के लिए. ठीक है. तो एट एन एवरेज क्लास में 2 से 3 क्वेश्चन, डिपेंड्स अपॉन द फैकल्टी एंड डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्पीड ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर डे, बट मिनिमम 2 क्वेश्चंस तो होगा ही होगा डेली क्लास में. ठीक है. किसी किसी दिन आपका 3 क्लासेस भी हो जाएगा क्लास में, समझ रहे, 3 क्वेश्चन भी हो जाएगा क्लासेस में. तो आउट ऑफ द 2 क्वेश्चन दैट यू राइट इन द क्लास, ध्यान से सुनिए, उनमें से एक क्वेश्चन हम लोग डेली बेसिस पे इवेलुएट करेंगे. ठीक है. सपोज यू आर राइटिंग आंसर्स ऑनलाइन और यू आर राइटिंग आंसर्स ऑफलाइन, तो आपको क्या करना है, सिंपल एक आंसर, कोई भी एक आंसर जो आपको लग रहा है ठीक है आपने लिखा है और इसको वर्थ इवेल्युएशन है, क्योंकि खुद आइडिया भी लग जाएगा डिस्कशन के बाद. तो एक क्वेश्चन को आप पीडीएफ बना के, एक गूगल लिंक होगा, हम लोग डेली ग्रुप में अपडेट करेंगे गूगल लिंक, इमीडिएटली विद इन हाफ एन आवर ऑफ द क्लास यू हैव टू अपलोड दैट पर्टिकुलर पीडीएफ. इज इट क्लियर? समझ रहे हैं बात? अब जो लोग रिकॉर्डिंग देख रहे हैं, ऑल द बेस्ट, वी कैन नॉट हेल्प, बट 12 बजे क्लास अगर खत्म होगी तो 12:30 तक, विद इन 30 मिनट्स, द क्वेश्चन, द आंसर दैट यू हैव रिटन must be converted into PDF and must be uploaded on the Google Drive link. Correct? Now, honestly speaking, it will take us 1 day, but officially speaking, it will take us 2 days. Correct? We will try to give it in 1 day, depending upon the workload and the pressure. But officially 2 दिन का हम आपसे टाइम लेंगे, because we never know, some emergency हो जाए जो evaluate कर रहा है, तो इस केस में ज्यादा अपसेट नहीं होना है उसमें. ठीक है. But within 2 days, the answers will be again evaluated back on the portal. Hope this is clear. ठीक है. अच्छा, उसके बाद एक क्वेश्चन आपको होमवर्क दिया जाएगा डेली, जिसमें सेल्फ हेल्प करना है. करेक्ट. एंड वी नो दैट इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील, बिकॉज गूगल है, चैट जीपीटी है, बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस हैं, बट अगेन बेसिक क्वेश्चंस. अभी इस बार का यूपीएससी में भी आप लोगों ने अगर समय मिला होगा तो यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट क्वेश्चंस आर नॉट दैट मच वाओ. ओके. दीज आर, अगर तुरंत GS-1 दे के हम लोग एग्जाम दिए होते तो आसान रहता लिखना आंसर उसका. तो ये अनुशासन नाम इसीलिए है, because every day you have to write in the class, and in order to fulfill the purpose of writing in the class, therefore we will be evaluating answers strictly uploaded within the 30 minutes window. Fine. ठीक है. Now anything else you have to ask. Now again the next thing is printed notes बोल के हम लोग ऐसा कुछ इसमें देंगे नहीं, लेकिन जितने भी क्वेश्चंस होमवर्क दिए जाएंगे एंड ऑफ द कोर्स में उन सारे होमवर्क, उन सारे आंसर्स का, कुछ कुछ क्वेश्चंस का, कुछ हैंड पिक्ड क्वेश्चंस का आपको एक मॉडल आंसर प्रिंट करके हम लोग दे देंगे, राइट। सारे सब्जेक्ट्स का, जैसे हिस्ट्री में कुछ, अब जैसे 3 क्वेश्चन आज हुआ ना, तो तीनों के नहीं, बट जो इंपॉर्टेंट उसमें से है, पर डे अराउंड 1-2 क्वेश्चंस का आपको मॉडल आंसर्स एट द एंड ऑफ द कोर्स विल गिव यू इन प्रिंटेड फॉर्म एज वेल एज सॉफ्ट कॉपी फॉर्म। इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है। और टॉपिक्स, जैसे मान लीजिए आज सर ने कुछ कराया, फिर नेक्स्ट डे सर कुछ कराएंगे, तो इन द क्लास इटसेल्फ सर विल टेल यू कि विच टॉपिक्स विल बी डन टुमारो। थोड़ा सा ऐसे 10 मिनट लाहे लाहे ऊपर से करके देख के आ सकते हैं आप, या फिर यू कैन ऑल्सो आस्क द फैकल्टी विच टॉपिक ही विल बी टेकिंग नेक्स्ट। ठीक। Total there are 30 classes in this. Out of the 30 classes, some 15 classes history को हम लोग देंगे, ठीक है, 15 classes. Some 8 to 9 classes depends upon the faculty. Geography को देंगे, और कुछ 7-8 classes हम लोग society को देंगे। रही बात नॉर्थ ईस्ट और अरुणाचल स्पेशल की, तो दैट विल बी कवर्ड इन अ सेपरेट मॉड्यूल। जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट का हम लोगों ने मॉड्यूल अनाउंस किया था, उसमें विल बी कवरिंग इट एट अ लेटर स्टेज। सो दीज 30 classes are purely for GS पेपर 1 syllabus. डन। पहले हम लोग हिस्ट्री से शुरू कर रहे हैं। अराउंड 20 सितंबर के आसपास हिस्ट्री खत्म हो जाएगा, उसके थोड़ा पहले, और 20 सितंबर के बाद रफ डेट ज्योग्राफी एंड इंडियन सोसाइटी विल स्टार्ट। करेक्ट। नाउ इस वीक चूंकि 30th को शायद सीजीएल का कोई एग्जामिनेशन है, सो अनुशासन की क्लासेस इस वीक 2 दिन चलेंगी, आज और कल। फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे हम लोग ऑफ रखेंगे, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स आर रिक्वेस्टिंग अस कि प्लीज अभी नेक्स्ट वीक करने से ठीक है, बट अगेन एज इट वाज ऑलरेडी अनाउंस्ड, सो वी आर डूइंग इट फॉर 2 क्लासेस दिस वीक। मंडे से फुल फ्लेजेड it will be the classes will resume. Okay, so this is all that I have to share. If you have anything to ask, please feel free to ask, or you can ask in the group also in general. आप ऐसे 2-3 दिन classes करके देखिए, then you will let us know. Any questions, any type of doubts? Online में भी offline में भी same, सबको एक ही process है जो follow करना है. So I guess this is it. Sanjay sir will be coming. So thank you everyone. See you next. Okay, the lights we have switched it off so that आंखों पे stress नहीं आए. Hope it is visible. White or yellow? Which color? Which is more soothing? White? Okay. Thank you.
So this class is about your mains exam only, not about pre-exam, only about mains exam. In the mains exam, we will have 4 GS papers. So I'm concerned with GS paper 1. So here this class Anushashan called us is regarding all the GS 4 papers. So we are starting with GS paper 1 for main exam. This GS paper 1 with 250 marks. In this first class, the outline of the class, Mritansu sir talked about what is the outline of this class. बताया उन लोगों ने. So outline of this class shall be, we are not going to discuss all the topics of GS paper 1. Some of the important topics we can discuss in the class. After discussion of those topics, we will give you some of the questions, probable questions, likely questions, and you have to write those questions in the class itself within stipulated time period. So this is what is called an answer writing session. Writing also very important. Knowledge is not sufficient. Besides knowledge, you have to write all your knowledge within 10-12 minutes. So writing speed is also very important. So this class, firstly, we are starting with GS paper 1. In GS paper 1, we will have 3 subjects. One is history. This is simply outline of history. In GS paper 1, one of the subjects is history. You have 3 subjects in GS paper 1. History, geography, and Indian society. So 3 subjects: history, geography, and then Indian society. Okay? So I will be taking up only history. In this history, you know about syllabus of the history. Everyone know syllabus of the history. So briefly talking about in history, number 1 is your what is called as modern India or colonial India. So maximum weightage in history is given to modern India, or this modern India more appropriately called as colonial India. Because India for the first time last time became colony of England from 1757 onwards. East India Company which had came to India for trade purpose. In course of the trade, this company had conquered India. First conquest was Bengal, other conquest as well. So 1757 onwards, India became colony of Britain. India was politically conquered by a company of London. That company was East India Company. So your syllabus starts even before this conquest, that is 18th century onward. So 18th century, even before political conquest of India, you have to do your main exam. So 18th century onward till, everyone write down as well. Writing also very important. The writing, this answer writing session. And all of you are sitting idle. Start writing as well. This class is not only about listening of this class, writing also very, very important. So 18th century up to 1947 is the entire stress of modern India. Okay? Modern India or colonial India. 18th century to 1947. So in history, maximum weightage given to modern India. Most of the questions will come from this section. Besides modern India, in this history we have to do Indian art and culture as well. Indian art and culture as well. Art and culture. Okay? Broadly in modern India, topics mentioned in the syllabus. One of the topics is important events of modern India. A very wide topic. Events. In your syllabus, events is particularly mentioned. Landmark events. Okay? Besides event, important issues in modern India, like social reform issues, political issues, issues regarding education. So issues of modern India also mentioned in the syllabus. Events, issues, and third is personalities. Personalities of modern India also mentioned. And this is the reason why in your exam, previous year papers, we have the questions on personalities as well. Subhash Chandra Bose, Mahatma Gandhi. So in this personality of modern India, number one most important personality is your Mahatma Gandhi. You must do Mahatma Gandhi as personalities. Thought of Gandhi on various issues. Thought of Gandhi on Swaraj. Thought of Gandhi on economy. Trusteeship theory. Gandhian view on Khadi and Charkha. View of Mahatma Gandhi regarding caste system. So thought of Mahatma Gandhi was very important. So personality of Mahatma Gandhi is very important. Besides Gandhi, other historical personality, only modern India personality. We are not going to discuss personality of medieval India, personalities of modern, ancient India, personalities of modern India. So besides Gandhi, which important personality in modern India? Besides Gandhi, Gandhi and Raja Ram Mohan Roy could be Ram Mohan Roy, but Ram Mohan Roy was essentially a social reformer, not a political reformer of India, mainly social reformer. ठीक है? So Ram Mohan Roy also may be important. Your Ram Mohan Roy is called as father of modern India. Why he was called father of modern India? Because he was the first in India to start social reforms in India. And this social reform started by Ram Mohan Roy was a movement. This movement was called as Brahmo Samaj movement. In the IS examination, there was one question on Brahmo Samaj movement. And this movement began by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy in 1828, 19th century. So social reform also important. These reform events, social reform events. So Ram Mohan Roy also personality, but most important freedom fighter or national movement in India under Mahatma Gandhi. Besides Gandhi, we have Subhash Chandra Bose, also important. Difference of Gandhi and Bose regarding some of the issues in India. Difference of Gandhi and Bose. This was the question in UPSC civil service examination some time back. So besides Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose. And they may mix up two personalities, differences and similarities as well. So how we have Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose were similar on some of the issues. And how we have differences between Gandhi and Bose on different issues. So we have to prepare Gandhi, Bose, besides Bose. B.R. Ambedkar, very, very important. Baba Sahib, B.R. Ambedkar. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Difference between Gandhi and Ambedkar on caste system. Same views of Gandhi and Ambedkar on issue of untouchability. And this again was the question in civil service ISC. So you must watch civil service UPSC question papers as well. Must see all those questions. Your question may be repetitions of those PYQs of IS, maybe. Okay? So three personality. Besides these three personality, Tagore also very important. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. So for modern India, you prepare these four personalities. You have lot of other personalities. Jyotiba Phule, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in South India, Ini Besant, many other personalities. But we have to focus mainly on these four personalities of modern India. And most important is Mahatma Gandhi. Most important Mahatma Gandhi. Okay? Any event they can ask. Any event of modern India, they may ask. like for example, many events like movement of Mahatma Gandhi in India, Quit India movement. Before Quit India movement, we have civil disobedience movement. Before civil disobedience movement, we have non-cooperation movement, and many of the movements of Mahatma Gandhi all are significant events. They may ask those events. Clear? So this is all about your modern India, and every topic we are not going to discuss in this class. We'll discuss only those topics which are most important from exam point of view. ठीक है? Like for example, after modern India, we come to art and culture. And after art and culture, we will come to world history as well. So primarily three parts of history. One is modern India. Second is Indian art and culture. In this art and culture, what you have to do, topics are given there. Stick to those topics which are given in your syllabus. So go carefully syllabus of this exam and PYQs as well. I believe you have exam in previous 2 years in the new syllabus 2020 and 2024. I have the question even before 2020, but that was the older pattern, not the new pattern. Your pattern got changed from 2020 exam onwards. ठीक है? Clear? So for example, in modern India, in modern India, under English rule, we'll start some of the topics in today's class. But before starting the class, we are discussing which are important topics in your syllabus. So in modern India, we have English rule started 1757 onwards, and this English rule continued till 1947. So second half of 18th century, we have English rule in India. Firstly, under East India Company, from 1858 onwards, East India Company was replaced by Crown rule or British Parliament rule. So about 2 centuries or 190 years of English rule in India. So during English rule, important developments in India, like for example, under English rule, under East India Company rule was from 1757 till 1858. East India Company rule for 100 years, from June 1757 to August 1858. India was ruled in the name of East India Company. So 100 years of company rule over India. When company was ruling in India, we have the major revolt of the Indians. In 1857, big revolt in India. This was not the first revolt, but first major revolt against East India Company rule. So Britain now decided that in place of company rule, we should start ruling India directly. So 1858 onwards, August 1858 to August 1947, we have parliament rule of British Parliament. Company rule now terminated from India. In place of company rule, we have parliament rule. And this parliament rule was in name of the crown. So this was the beginning of crown rule. So during company and crown rule both, we have some of the economic policies in India. And these policies were started by company and continued under crown rule as well. So important economic policies. Number one, economic policies, educational policies, and all the policies undertaken by the Britishers, firstly under company and then under crown, important topics, not all the topics, important topics. For example, important topics under East India Company, we have beginning of a new educational policy. Educational policy of Britishers in India. This year in the IS examination, this was one of the questions in GS paper 1. Educational policy of Britishers in India. ठीक है? So this is important. Educational policy is important. In this educational policy, before March 1835, East India Company educational policy in India was called as Orientalist policy. What was Orientalist policy? We will discuss in course of time because this topic is very important. Means no English education in India, education of Indian subjects. In Indian language, Oriental means Eastern. So this Orientalist policy of East India Company was replaced in March 1835 by a new policy called Anglicist policy. Anglicist policy means in place of Indian subjects, study of Western subjects. Subjects being taught in Britain. Western subjects. And those subjects in English language. So this is the beginning of English education in India. This was the question in IS exam. What was the impact of this education on administration and education of India? Impact only. So questions could be from different perspective. So suppose questions, for example, they are asking, what was Orientalist Anglicist controversy? Have to discuss controversy on what was this dispute within East India Company, a controversy between some officers of East India Company. Those officers were called as Anglicist officers because those officers were only in favor of the study of Indian subjects. We'll come and discuss in course of time. Indian subjects like a study of the Vedas, a study of Upanishad, a study of Islamic subjects, Sharia, Quran, Hadith and all. So they are called as Orientalists because they favored the study of Indian subjects. But some officers of East India Company, those officers were opposed to this policy. And they wanted, in place of Indian subjects, why not Indians should be taught Western subjects? So those officers were called as Anglicists. One is clear. Anglicist wanted Western subjects study in India. Orientalist wanted a study of Indian subjects in India. So why they wanted? We have to explain all these things. Number two, Orientalist wanted no study of these subjects into English language. Not. This should be medium, should be Persian, which was the official language of India, and not the English or Indian language. Sanskrit, Persian. So those are called as Orientalists. Indian subjects into Indian languages. Persian was the official language of India, so they wanted continuation of Persian language in India. But Anglicists wanted no. We should teach the Indians these subjects into English language and not Persian language. So why they wanted English language? Why they wanted not English language? So this dispute is called as Orientalist Anglicist controversy. So suppose, for example, the question is, what was Orientalist Anglicist controversy? Discuss only this controversy and how this controversy was resolved. This controversy resolved through a commission headed by Macaulay. Macaulay Minute. And this year the question was on Macaulay report or Macaulay Minute called as. And this report was implemented in India from March 1835. Means from March 1835, in place of a study of Indian subjects, a study of Western subjects started. Official policy of East India Company now changed from March 1835. Policy now became government will promote a study of Western subjects. And these subjects in which language? English. So English now became official language of India. So is the father of English in India? Macaulay. And who implemented this Macaulay report? Then Governor General William Bentinck. So if, for example, the question is, what was this controversy? Write the controversy. How this controversy was resolved. Talk about this resolution of this controversy through Macaulay report. For example, this year the question was, this year IS exam the question was, discuss impact of Macaulay report on education system of India and administration of India. It means you don't supposed to write this controversy. Have to write only about what was the impact of this English education on Indian education system, Indian administration. Only impact. 150 words. Okay? So answer should be different. This question different answer. And discuss the impact of Macaulay report or Macaulay minute on education and administration of India. Answer will be completely different. So we are here to do answer writing sessions. This is not for knowledge. Class already we conducted. This is only implementation of those knowledge in this class. Okay. So after finishing some topics, I will give you some questions. And you will write the answer within 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, 15 minutes. So this is the way we can conduct this Anushashan course. Okay. So we are discussing today outlines. Outlines. Let's start the class. Don't worry, we'll start the class. ठीक है समझ में सबको आ रहा है class is clear to all of you and I can remember some of you attended my classes earlier. Some of you I can recall some of the faces. You did my classes earlier? सब लोग किया है मेरा क्लास? Not all. Some of you. समझ में आया था? उसी को लिखना है, उसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करना है. ठीक है? So one of the very important topic is this educational policy. We'll discuss educational policy. Next. During this English rule in India, economic policies is very, very important. Economic policies is very, very important. Modern India without economic policy is almost zero. Most important part of modern India is economic policies of Britishers in India. In this economic policy, number one, new land revenue systems started by Britishers in India. Very important. New land revenue systems in India started by Britishers. By East India Company. East India Company had started 3 new different land revenue systems in India. What is land revenue? What is land revenue? Land revenue was a tax paid by whom? We have many taxes. Land revenue is land tax paid by peasant. The peasant who do the cultivation. Part of the produce they have to sell into market and deposit some amount to government. So suppose this is the peasant. These are the peasants. In modern India, peasants were called as ryots. Ryots was the term used by Britishers for Indian peasants. So these peasants were doing the cultivation. So suppose this is the patch of the land of this peasant. So whatever production happened after harvesting of the crop, a part of the production they have to pay to a state, and this tax was called as land revenue tax. ठीक है? Till 1860, land revenue was biggest source of state income. More than 50% of revenue of a state comes from land revenue. ठीक है? So land revenue was very, very important from economic point of view. More land revenue, more resource to the government. So up to 1860, land revenue was the biggest source of state income. So utmost care was taken by East India Company to maximize land revenue collection from Indian peasants. Maximization of land revenue. And for that purpose, they started three different new land revenue systems in India in three different areas. One is earliest land revenue system was called as permanent settlement in Bengal. A permanent settlement was a new land revenue system started by East India Company, firstly in Bengal. Later on, in some areas of South India, Deccan, this was extended, but this was only in Bengal. So this system is called as permanent land revenue settlement, also called as Zamindari settlement. Zamindari or permanent. Both are same. Why called Zamindari? Why it was called permanent? When we come and discuss about this land revenue system, it will become clear to all of you. Why it was called Zamindari? Why it was called permanent? Who started? What was the impact of the system? Feature of the system? They may ask all these. So one is clear. After permanent, in South India, Madras, and then Bombay, West India, a different type of revenue settlement was started by East India Company, firstly in Madras, then in Bombay, West India, and this was called as Rayatwari settlement, different from permanent. Third was Mahalwari in UP and then Punjab. So three different type of land revenue settlement was started by East India Company in India, and three system continued up to 1947. So features of the system, impact of these systems, these all are important. Very important aspect of economic history of colonial India is three different land revenue systems. So they may ask land revenue systems as a whole, or they may ask separately about permanent. So it all depends upon, answer will depend upon nature of the questions. ठीक है? Features, region, impact, all are different answers. ठीक है? So one is clear. Land revenue settlements in India, very important topic. ठीक है? Next. After land revenue, we have other important topics. For example, under English rule, we have commercialization of Indian agriculture. Also very important topic. Commercialization of Indian agriculture. Means in place of food grains. Why East India Company Britishers encourage Indian peasants to grow commercial crops and not the food grain. What are commercial crops? What are commercial crops? Those crops which are grown by the peasant, not for immediate consumption, to sell in the market to earn the profits, like cotton, like indigo, like silk, like tea. All these are commercial crops. So this is also very important topic in your modern India, commercialization of Indian agriculture. So answer could be different. So when we come and discuss about this aspect, commercialization of agriculture, we'll explain what is the meaning of this commercialization, which are commercial crops grown in different parts of India, patterns of this commercialization, effect of this commercialization, different aspects of this we'll discuss in the class. ठीक है? तो अगर कोई टॉपिक होता है तो जो चीज पूछेंगे उस पर, सपोज रीजन्स ऑफ कमर्शियलाइजेशन, डिस्कस ओनली रीजन्स. If they're asking pattern of commercialization, discuss patterns. Areas of commercialization, discuss the areas where these commercial crops were grown. तो पिक्चर बना देंगे, मैप बना देंगे इंडिया का और दिखा देंगे कमर्शियल क्रॉप्स का कल्टीवेशन इन दीज एरियाज. सो दैट इज द पैटर्न और कमर्शियलाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर ऑफ इंडिया. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल commercial crops, tea. In which area tea cultivation started? Which area? Tea cultivation? West Bengal तो बहुत कम है, Assam area. Assam and West Bengal area, these areas were the tea area, tea growing areas. From 1840 onwards, tea cultivation began on large scale in Assam and parts of West Bengal. So this is the area of tea cultivation. Which area with the cotton cultivation? Which area? Black soil area. So this is Maharashtra, Gujarat area is the black soil area where we have cotton cultivation. Cotton cultivation. Which area with the indigo cultivation? Indigo. Bengal and parts of Bihar. So this area was Bihar and Bengal area, indigo growing area, indigo. Which area with the silk? Silk cultivation. असम में सिल्क होता है. Which area with the silk growing area? Mainly South India. Mysore area, silk. If they are asking commercial crops and the distribution, don't write anything. Make the map and show in the chart. Map. Which are the area with which crops? If the questions are this, areas of commercial crop. So draw the map. Show the area of these commercial crops. Answer is put out the answer. ठीक है? उसी का impact पूछेगा, different answer. Regions of commercialization, different answer. So your answer will depend upon the nature of the questions they are asking in the paper. ठीक है? ये नहीं कि याद करके गया कमर्शियलाइजेशन और देखा लिख दिया कमर्शियलाइजेशन, जो आता है लिख दिया, कितना मार्क्स मिलेगा? 0. ठीक है? 0 मार्क्स. सो क्वेश्चन को समझना बहुत, इसीलिए आपका क्लास कंडक्ट किया आप लोगों ने. ठीक है? दिस क्लास इज फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस, हाउ टू राइट दोज क्वेश्चंस. इसलिए एग्जाम, उसीलिए क्लास है आपका. कमर्शियलाइजेशन इज क्लियर. नेक्स्ट next is, suppose we have commercialization of agriculture in shortage of food grains in India. So during colonial India, we have every year almost every parts of India occurrence of famines. So why famines was a recurrent feature in colonial India. ठीक है? In ancient India, medieval India, we have the evidence of famines. But during English rule, this famine was very, very frequent. Almost every year, one part of India, other part of India, scarcity of food grains. And because of this scarcity, we have starvations, deaths. So many people died because of these famines. So beginning of famine was from about 1770 Bengal famine. So what is the meaning of famine? Discuss करेंगे सब. तो अगर पूछता है कि what do you mean by famine? Discuss the meaning of famine. ठीक है? Why we have famines in colonial India? Discuss the region of famines. सिर्फ region लिखना है, nothing else. Question आया है means in the IS में कि why in colonial India we have almost every year we have famines. It means the question was on regions of famines in India. ठीक है? So first famine was 1770 Bengal famine, and last major famine of India was again in Bengal, 1943 famine, both in Bengal. And between 1770 and 1943, almost every parts of India we have many famines. Skull famine, 1790s. Skull famine क्यों बोलते हैं? Because a lot of skulls have been found in this area, Deccan area, South India. This famine is called as skull famine. 1790s skull famine. Bihar famine, Deccan famine, many areas, many famines. So numerous famines in colonial India. So when famine happened, government took some of the policy to minimize impact of famine so that death could be minimized. So that is the anti-famine policies. अगर इस पे क्वेश्चन होगा, different answer होगा. What are the policies adopted by Britishers to contain severity of the famines? बहुत सारा कमीशन they appointed, Strachey Commission, Leol Commission, McDonnell Commission, many of the commissions, and they gave the report. फिर भी कम नहीं हुआ, बहुत डेथ हुआ, because this was a half-hearted attempt of the Britishers to minimize the impact of famines. ठीक है? क्लियर है? So तीनों का अलग अलग. What is the meaning of famine? Answer will be different. Regions of famine, answer will be different. Anti-famine policy of the government, answer is completely different. तो जो क्वेश्चन आएगा उसको समझ के लिखना होगा. ठीक है? famine is clear, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक आया है. famine topic is very important. Then we have other topic, for example, other important topic for economic policy. देखो इतना ही करेंगे हम लोग. It is not possible to cover entire modern India. We will talk about only important topics. जो as a teacher we have some experience. Experience है कैसा क्वेश्चन आता है. We can figure out. Sometimes फेल भी हो जाता है हम लोग का guess, but we can make some guess. So this class is only about those guess and more about your writing session. More about writing session. Less about teaching. Broad discuss करेंगे. ठीक है? जैसे for example, before English rule, there are many industries in India. Cotton, textiles, many industries. Under English rule, industries of India destroyed. India became importer of English goods. So this process is called as deindustrialization. आया है क्वेश्चन आपका. Deindustrialization, also very important topic. How industries of India destroyed willfully by English rule in India to promote their own industries of England. So growth of industries of England were dependent on destruction of Indian industries. India became importer of English goods. Lancashire, Manchester textiles. So this was deindustrialization of Indian industries. Also very important. From 1757 till 1947, wealth of India through systematic order fluxed out of India and goes to England. This is called as drain of wealth of India. Also very important. Drain of wealth. How Indian wealth fluxed out of India and goes to England. So huge amount of wealth of India during English rule goes to Britain. So this was drain of wealth, a new theory propounded by Dadabhai Naoroji. was the first Indian to prove that how English rule was economically very harmful for India. Day by day, India was becoming poor under English rule. Before English rule, India was one of the richest countries of the world. But under English rule, India became one of the poorest countries of the world. And this happened because of systematic flux of Indian wealth to England, drain of wealth. तो कैसे होता था, क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ इसका, आंसर ऑल विल बी डिफरेंट. तो इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज में these are the areas we discuss in the class. ठीक है, clear everyone? Then under English rule, Indians revolted under English rule. Biggest revolt of India, biggest under English rule was in 1857 revolt. In 1857, big revolt of Indians against East India Company rule, Britishers rule of Britishers in India. 1857 revolt. ठीक है? This was not the first revolt and not the last revolt. Before 1857, we have many revolts. Tribal revolt, peasant revolt. So we have revolt of tribals. Tribal revolt. Before 1857. After 1857 as well. Revolt of tribals. ठीक है? Revolt of tribals. Before 1857. After 1857 both. Arunachal area as well, we have lot of revolt of tribals. Which important tribal revolt here? Munda यहाँ है, अरुणाचल प्रदेश. Munda is not Arunachal Pradesh. Munda कहाँ है? Which area Munda जा? Jharkhand. Which was South Bihar earlier. The revolt of the Mundas as well. Munda revolt को क्या बोलते हैं? उलगुलन बाद वाले को बोलते हैं. जो 1857 का जो पहले मुंडा रिवोल्ट हुआ था, क्या बोलते हैं? व्हाट इज? थोड़ा साफ बोलिए, आप जोर से बोलिए, स्पीक लाउडर. तुमुई, टुमुल्ट, वो तो इंग्लिश वर्ड है. टुमुल्ट इज इंग्लिश वर्ड. इंसरेक्शन यूज होता है, वो इंसरेक्शन रिवोल्ट के लिए यूज करते हैं. ट्राइबल रिवोल्ट कौन है? फितुरी. फितुरी मीन्स ट्राइबल रिवोल्ट. This Munda revolt before 1857 was called as Sardari Ladai on behalf of Munda Sardars. Sardari का मतलब होता है सरदार, because Munda rule ended. Those area acquired by East India Company. So on behalf of their Sardar or chief, Munda rose into a revolt from 1780s onwards. So this Munda revolt is called as Sardari Ladai. लड़ाई का मतलब क्या होता है? What is the meaning of लड़ाई? हिंदी बोलते हैं मुंडा, मुंडारी लैंग्वेज होता है, बट इम्पैक्ट ऑफ हिंदी ऑन दिस मुंडारी लैंग्वेज. लड़ाई मतलब फाइट. सो सरदारी लड़ाई मीन्स मुंडा रिवोल्ट. और यही रिवोल्ट बाद में जो होता है 1899 में, मुंडा रिवोल्ट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज उलगुलन. एंड दिस रिवोल्ट वाज लेड बाय बिरसा मुंडा. उलगुलन 1899 रिवोल्ट ऑफ मुंडा. 1899 1900 Birsa Munda became god of the Mundas. So they may ask tribal revolt as well. Question आया है tribal revolt पे. There was question on tribal revolt in IS exam. So they may ask. अरुणाचल में कौन revolt है tribal का? ताई खामती revolt. ताई खामती revolt. Before 1857. Before 1857. According to government of Arunachal Pradesh, ताई खामती revolt was the first national war of independence, which is not correct. ठीक है, वो डिस्कस करें. So revolt of the tribals, revolt of the peasants, peasant revolt, दोनों important है. Both are important. Peasants revolt and tribal revolts, both are important. ठीक है. So before 1857, जितना revolt है, including 1857 revolt, all revolt is called as primary revolts. All revolts, including 1857 revolt, is called as primary revolt. After 1857, all revolt is called as, like Ulgulan revolt, is called as secondary revolts. If time allows, we can talk about pigeon tribal revolts more important for your exam. Cause of tribal revolt, nature of tribal revolt, impact of tribal revolts, very important for these areas. ठीक है? But out of all the revolts, biggest revolt was 1857 revolt. Question आया है इस पे. Region of 1857 revolt, nature of 1857 revolt, impact of 1857 revolt. Different आंसर होगा सबका. Region है तो region लिखेंगे सिर्फ. If the question will be on nature, discuss the nature. If the question will be on impact, effect, answer will be different. इसको भी डिस्कस करेंगे, स्पेशली रेफरेंस टू 1857. ठीक है? So modern India is clear. Beginning from 18th century, policy of Britishers in India, their policy, and then revolt of Indians against British rule. ठीक है? Next topic of modern India. इसको कर लेंगे, हो जाना चाहिए काम आपका. These topics are important from your exam point of view. And the last important topic of modern India is your national movement. National movements or freedom struggle, mainly from 1885 to 1947. Freedom struggle or national movement. Okay. What is national movement or what is freedom struggle? What is national movement? What is freedom struggle? Any of the movement against foreign rule, number one, is known as national movement. हमेशा foreign rule के against में होता है. ठीक है? Number two, this movement must be inspired by ideas of nationalism. And this nationalism only comes when we have nation. Nation was a modern concept. India was becoming nation during English rule because we have concept of Indian nationalism. अगर दो चीज है, then this movement is called as national movement or freedom struggle. ठीक है? Suppose for example, sorry. Suppose for example, we have rule of Mughals in India. Against Mughals, we have revolt of Marathas, revolt of Jats. So whether Maratha revolt was a national movement or not? Not a national movement, because Mughals were not foreigners. Mughals were Indians. But the Britishers were perpetual foreigners. So India was becoming some sort of nation, every region of India, interlinked with each other. Emergence of nationalism happened in India. So this organized movement of India's against foreign rule was known as national movement or freedom struggle. National movement जब भी होगा, वो फॉरेन रूल के अगेंस्ट होगा, अपने रूल के अगेंस्ट नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है? So 1885, first All India political party was established in India, and this party was called as Indian National Congress. 1885. So from 1885 till 1947, we have national movement organized way started. ठीक है? So this is the last part of your modern India or freedom struggle. National movement or freedom struggle. So first important topic is why this Congress party was formed. This was the first All India political party of India. First All India political party of India was Indian National Congress. And who founded this party? Who founded this party? A.O. Hume, who was the Britishers himself. So why Britishers found this party? And under this party, when Mahatma Gandhi led this movement, India got independence. So why a foreigner started this party? So we have some controversy regarding foundation of Congress. हो सकता है इस पे क्वेश्चन नहीं, but this movement we can divide into three parts. First 20 years of Congress politics is called as moderate politics. Moderate, liberal, 1885 till 1905. First phase of the national movement or freedom struggle. इस पे भी क्वेश्चन बहुत आया है. 2 times in IS में एग्जाम. Moderate politics. Moderate का क्या contribution है? Why this phase is called a moderate phase? What was their demand? What was success? What was failures of moderate Congress politics? ठीक है? So they may ask the question on moderate Congress politics. After this moderate phase, we have next stage of freedom struggle, that is extremist phase. Extremist national movement or extremist phase of Congress politics from 1905 till 1916. Extremist phase. ठीक है? Difference between moderate extremist. Here we have a new movement in India started. This movement began in Bengal. This movement was Swadeshi boycott movement. Again very important. What was Swadeshi boycott movement? 1905. Swadeshi boycott movement, 1905. When this movement began? Swadeshi boycott movement when began? इंडिया में एक नेशनल हैंडलूम डे है. विच डे इज नेशनल हैंडलूम डे? 7th अगस्त. क्यों बोलते हैं उसको नेशनल हैंडलूम डे? अगस्त 7 इज द नेशनल हैंडलूम डे ऑफ इंडिया. Why August 7 is National Handloom Day? Because on August 7, 1905, this movement began from Bengal. And this movement was for promotion development of Indian textile, Indian goods, handloom for it. ठीक है? This is the main reason why August 7 declared by government of India as National Handloom Day. Because way back in 1905, on August 7, Swadeshi boycott movement started by Congress party from Bengal. ठीक है? So this too is clear. Third and the last phase of movement was Gandhian movement. Third and the last phase of freedom struggle is Gandhian movement. 1917 to 1947, Gandhian movement. Leadership was now in hand of Mahatma Gandhi. And Mahatma Gandhi mobilized the masses, PJ, tribes, women, every segment of society mobilized by Mahatma Gandhi. इस बार का क्वेश्चन था, क्या वो महात्मा गांधी मूवमेंट स्ट्रेटजी ऑफ द और मास मोबिलाइजेशन? दिस ईयर आईएएस एग्जाम क्वेश्चन. ठीक है? During this Gandhian movement, three are very important. One is non-cooperation movement, 1920 to 1922. Non-cooperation movement of Mahatma Gandhi, important. आया है क्वेश्चन सेपरेट इस पे. They may ask separate question in your exam as well. Non-cooperation movement, 1st August 1920 began and February 1922 called up by Mahatma Gandhi. So what was this movement? Why this movement started by Mahatma Gandhi? Feature of the movement. फीचर ऑफ द मूवमेंट, इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द मूवमेंट, कुछ भी होगा, सबका आंसर अलग अलग होगा, एक आंसर नहीं होगा. दिस इज नॉट द यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम बिकॉज क्वेश्चन आर स्पेसिफिक. अगर क्वेश्चन है वाई महात्मा गांधी स्टार्टेड नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट, रीजन यू हैव टू राइट ओनली वाई. अगर पूछते हैं व्हाट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग कोर्स ऑफ दिस मूवमेंट, यू हैव टू डिस्कस द प्रोग्राम्स ऑफ दिस मूवमेंट, क्या किया हुआ. ठीक है. सो आंसर इज डिफरेंट, ऑलवेज डिफरेंट, नॉट द सेम आंसर. तो इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होता है एग्जिट एग्जाम में कि फर्स्टली रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली एंड यू परसीव और अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द डिमांड ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. जो डिमांड होगा उसी को लिखेंगे, बस उससे बाहर नहीं. ठीक है. समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्वेश्चन को. बिना समझे लिखोगे मार्क्स नहीं आएगा. अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर इफ आस्किंग रीजन, डिस्कस द रीजन ओनली. प्रोग्राम्स पूछेगा, प्रोग्राम्स लिखेंगे. ठीक है. प्रोग्राम्स इसके लिए क्या क्या हुआ इस मूवमेंट में, महात्मा गांधी ने क्या क्या किया इस मूवमेंट में. खादी चरखा प्रमोट करने के लिए प्रोग्राम किया. ठीक है. बहुत सारा प्रोग्राम है. एजुकेशनल रिकंस्ट्रक्शन प्रोग्राम ऑफ इंडिया, टू रिकंस्ट्रक्ट इकोनॉमी ऑफ इंडिया, बहुत सारा प्रोग्राम है. ठीक है. टू पीसफुली वायलेट फॉरेस्ट लॉ, ट्राइब्स कैन एंटर इनटू फॉरेस्ट टू कलेक्ट द fuel woods फॉर ग्रेजिंग राइट्स एंड ऑल, उसको बोलते हैं फॉरेस्ट सत्याग्रह. सो वाई महात्मा गांधी मिक्स फॉरेस्ट सत्याग्रह इनटू दिस मूवमेंट, डिफरेंट होगा, सब लिखना होगा. सो योर आंसर विल डिपेंड अपॉन द नेचर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन ऑलवेज. उसको समझ गए, काम हो गया आपका. उसको नहीं समझ में आए, कोई फायदा नहीं लिखने से. ठीक है. क्लास इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू, समझ में आ रहा है. दिस इज द आउटलाइन ऑफ आवर क्लास. If time allows, we can start at in century. पहले डिस्कस तो कर ले क्या क्या करना है. ठीक है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट मॉडर्न इंडिया. इस मॉडर्न इंडिया में एक और टॉपिक करना पड़ेगा हम लोगों को, दैट इज 19th सेंचुरी सोशल रिलीजियस रिफॉर्म मूवमेंट्स. रिफॉर्म ऑफ सोसाइटी, रिफॉर्म ऑफ सोसाइटी, like sati system should be abolished, child marriage should be stopped. ठीक है. एज ऑफ consent should be fixed, education for the women. So many social reforms undertaken by social reformers of India, like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Jyotiba Phule in Bombay, West India, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in South India, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar in South India, Narayan Guru in Malabar area. So these all are social reformers of India. Sayyid Ahmad Khan for Muslims, Sikh reform movement, Hindu reform movement, Parsi reform movement. So they may ask individual reform movements, or they may ask general question on social religious reform movements. ठीक है. आया भी है क्वेश्चन इस पे. Why women was the main issues of this movement? Why women? This was the question nice. Why women? Most of reformers picked up issues regarding women. Like कौन कौन इशू है women से. क्वेश्चन था which were issues of the women picked up by reformers. इशू के बारे में बताना है. इशू लाइक widow remarriage. ठीक है. widow remarriage. Who undertook this issue? Who started reform movement for right of the widow for remarriage? हाँ विद्यासागर, ईश्वर चंद विद्यासागर. So one of the issues was widow remarriage. Other issue, सती सिस्टम. विडो remarriage किसका इशू था? मेल का था, फीमेल का था? विडो remarriage issue regarding female only, because if husband died, widow no right of remarriage. अगर वही कोई हस्बैंड है और वाइफ मैरिज हो गया, मर गया, तो वो करता था कि नहीं मैरिज? Husband had right of remarriage. And more than one marriage. So this was only regarding women. Women issues. Who became sati? Male or female? Always female. So regarding women, so we started movement for abolition of sati system. Raja Ram Mohan Roy movement was Brahma Samaj movement. So two issues. और issue regarding women, education ठीक है, education regarding women. Other issue, तो अगर question होगा, which were important issues of the women picked up by these reformers? Discuss only these issues like education or other issues. This was the question. Issues or other issues? Huh? Age of consent. Age of consent. Age of consent. मतलब minimum age of the girl child for sexual intercourse even by the husband. Age of consent called. Who was the reformer who took up this issue? Age of consent. Famous reformer of India. Malavari. Malavari, famous reformer of India who fought for fixation of age of consent for girl child. ठीक है, क्योंकि शुरू में जो एज ऑफ कंसेंट था गर्ल चाइल्ड के लिए दैट वाज 10 years. 10 year consent for girl child. ठीक है, by 1860 law it should be raised, increased age of consent. So gradually raised to 12 years. 1891 act 10 years. अभी कितना है age of consent? What is the age of consent for the girl child? Now, sorry, 18 years. 18 years है, 18 years है, 18 years. बट मुस्लिम का सरिया बोलता है 15 years. तो कुछ हाई कोर्ट ने बोला कि नहीं 15 years फॉर द मुस्लिम गर्ल चाइल्ड, वो दैट इज मैटर इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट. ठीक है, तो एज ऑफ कंसेंट. अदर इशू रिगार्डिंग वीमेन, डॉरी का उतना बड़ा इशू कोई मूवमेंट यहाँ था नहीं. डॉरी ऑल्सो वाज द इशू एंड डॉरी प्रोहिबिशन लॉ वाज पास्ड आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस 1980s में. डॉरी वाज नॉट द मेजर इशू. डॉरी प्रोहिबिशन एक्ट वाज पास्ड in 1980 by Rajiv Gandhi government. ठीक है, not even not the major issue in colonial India. Other issue, child marriage. Child marriage. So they very important issues regarding women. So why women issues? Question था. Which issue and controversy regarding all. So we'll talk about social religious reform movements. For in Hinduism, various reform movements. In Muslim, we have various reform. In Sikh society, various reform movements. So we have many reform movements in 19th century. Question आया है यहाँ से बहुत सारा. So this is all about your modern India और colonial India. ठीक है, इतना सारा कर लोगे आप तो काम हो जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, इतना तो करना पड़ेगा. मालूम था नहीं क्या क्वेश्चन होगा, बट क्वेश्चन शुड बी फ्रॉम दीज एरियाज. फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी रूल 18th सेंचुरी से लेके अप टू 1947. ठीक है, so this is all about your modern India. Next part of history is your art and culture. Art and culture. In art and culture, only 3 topics are mentioned. Only 3 topics. Architecture, literature, and art forms. 3 topics. Art forms. Only 3 topics. Architecture of ancient India, architecture of medieval India, literature of ancient India, literature of medieval India, art forms of ancient India, art forms of medieval India. In this architecture, most important is Indus Valley civilization architecture, जो आया आपका क्वेश्चन, इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन आर्किटेक्चर, ठीक है, टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर in ancient India. In North India, we have Nagar architecture. In South India, Dravid architecture. In Deccan India, Ovesar architecture. So 3 temples architectures. Their features and difference between all these architecture. Buddhist architecture like viharas. Buddhist architecture like viharas, chatyas, and stupas. So 3 Buddhist architecture: chatyas, that is place of worship or temples; stupas, stupa architecture, that is burial mound, graveyards; and third is vihara architecture, residence for Buddhist monks. So 3 schools of architecture in Buddhism. The features of those architecture, relevance of those architecture, different aspects. ठीक है? Within art forms, a sculpture is very important. A sculpture. Buddhist sculptural art. Buddhist sculptural art. Like to make the idols of Gautam. 3 schools of art emerged. Gandhara art in northwest part of India. Gandhara in northwest part of India. Gandhara is the region. Kandhar, Gandhar. South Afghanistan, Pakistan area. Gandhara art. Mathura art. Mathura place in UP. Mathura art. Amravati art. Eastern Deccan. So 3 schools of art in Buddhism. 3 sculptural art. Gandhara, Mathura, Amravati. Features of these art. And at least 2 or 3 times in IS exam, question was on Gandhara art. This is most important, Gandhara. Only on Gandhara. Not on the Mathura, not on Amravati. And why Gandhara art? Because on this art we have influence of foreign arts. Greek art, Roman art, Central Asian art. So Gandhara art is very important for you. And specific features are important. Gautam Buddha का clothes, facial feature, mustache, earlobe और sandals. गौतम बुद्धा कहाँ से आया? ठीक है? लिटरेचर में, in literature, Buddhist literature, Hindu literature, Jain literature, South India Sangam literature, medieval India, in medieval India, sorry, in medieval India, Persian literature, Persian, Urdu, Persian important. Sorry. So this is all about art and culture. Third and the last part of your history is world history. World history. ठीक है? In your paper 2020, 2024 both, there were questions on world history. करना है. But in IS exam, civil service exam, UPSC, 2013 onwards, पहला एग्जाम हुआ था. सिविल सर्विस यूपीएससी एग्जाम, ठीक है, आइए से GS पेपर 1 2013 was the first exam in new syllabus, and this year 2026 was the this year civil service exam. इस पूरे बीच में 3 years 3 बार no question from world history including 2026, एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं है. So there may not be any question from world history. लेकिन आपका एग्जाम देखा मैंने, both the years there were questions on world history. So we have to do some of the topics of world history. अब क्या हो सकता है, होगा, दोनों बार आया है. फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर से आया है, कॉजेज ऑफ द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, कैपिटलिज्म एंड कम्युनिज्म में डिफरेंसेस आया है, तो करेंगे वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री का. ठीक है, बट आपके पेपर में कभी मैंने देखा नहीं पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस से क्वेश्चन हो. नो क्वेश्चन ऑन पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस. सो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन टाइम एंड ऑल वी कैन स्किप पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस. 1947 टिल प्रेजेंट इज पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस हिस्ट्री. इसको स्किप कर सकते हैं आपके एग्जाम के लिए. ठीक है, सो सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन होगा मॉडर्न इंडिया से होगा. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर डिस्कशन ऑन द सिलेबस एंड ऑल द थिंग्स अबाउट दिस क्लास. ठीक है, सो कैन वी स्टार्ट नाउ. एक तो कर लेंगे हम. आई कैन गिव यू वन क्वेश्चन फॉर राइटिंग इन द क्लास. सो वी आर स्टार्टिंग मॉडर्न इंडिया. इन दिस मॉडर्न इंडिया फर्स्ट टॉपिक वी आर डूइंग इज 18th century इंडिया. आया है क्वेश्चन 18th century से. So we are starting with modern India, and first topic of modern India we are doing is 18th century India. 18th century. ठीक है, 18th century India. ठीक है, from this 18th century, in this 18th century in 2020 आपका पेपर, in year 2020 there was one question from 18th century. ठीक है, अभी समझ में आएगा. This question was examine the way regional political powers tried to build an alternative political power structure in India during 18th century. 150 words. Examine the way regional political powers. Question number 2. Question number 2 of year 2020. You got the question? ठीक है, अभी समझ में आएगा ये. What was this question और क्या आंसर होगा. I will give you one question. This was your question. सिविल सर्विस एग्जाम, IAS एग्जाम, डिफरेंट वे में क्वेश्चन है थोड़ा. ईयर इज 2017 UPSC exam regarding 18th century. Question was clarify how mid 18th century India was beset with the specter of a fragmented polity. How 18th century was a fragmented polity. This was in 2017 civil service UPSC exam 2017. 150 word limit, 10 marks. So now firstly come to 18th century India. What was 18th century India and how this was the era of fragmented polity. ठीक है, This is 18th century. 18th century. 1700s to 1799. 18th century. ठीक है. In 18th century, Mughal capital was Delhi. Delhi was Mughal capital in 18th century. ठीक है. And this type of questions you always write through map. Draw the map all the time. जहाँ स्कोप है मैप जरूर बनाएंगे. Delhi was the capital, Mughal capital from 1630s onwards. 1630s onwards, in place of Agra, Delhi was Mughal capital. Mughal capital Delhi was shifted by Mughal king Shah Jahan. So from time of Shah Jahan, 1636 onwards, Mughal capital was Delhi. ठीक है. Clear? This Mughal empire was a very large empire, very big empire. From Jammu Kashmir to Karnataka area, Mughal empire. From Kabul and Kandahar in Afghanistan to Bangladesh, this area ruled by Mughals. This area ruled by Mughals, that is Bangladesh, part of the Mughal empire. ठीक है. So from Kabul, Kandahar to Bangladesh. This is the background. You're not supposed to write all these things. You have to focus only on fragmented polity, 18th century polity. I am giving only the background for proper understanding. ठीक है. What happened during 18th century? Clear है? So this Kandahar was lost from the Mughals, conquered by Persians. Kandahar lost to Persians from time of Shah Jahan, permanent loss. ठीक है. So Mughal rule, this is only the background of 18th century. So we have the Mughal Badshah Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was Mughal Badshah. From 1658 to 1707, Aurangzeb. So till 1707, Aurangzeb was the Mughal Badshah with capital Delhi. ठीक है. When the Mughals were ruling over India, Mughals had divided this Mughal empire into various provinces. Province was called as Subba. Subbas, Mughal provinces. Like for example, here province of Hyderabad, one of the Mughal provinces, Hyderabad. Bengal province, Bengal Subba. Bengal Subba with Murshidabad as the capital. Mughal Subba, Awadh. Awadh Mughal Subba. So Mughal many provinces. Province was called as Subba. So Mughal king appointed head of the Subba, and this Subedar was the head of Subba. So head of the province was called as Subedar. Head of the Subba is Subedar. Means Mughal king appointed Subedar of Bengal, Subedar of Hyderabad, Subedar of Awadh, Subedar of Punjab, many Subbas. Clear? When Aurangzeb died in 1707, taking advantage of weakness of the Mughal king, these Subedars started becoming independent king of their areas. Like Bengal Subedar became independent king of this area, Subba. So new kingdom arose, Kingdom of Bengal in 18th century. So Kingdom of Bengal became independent kingdom. It was a part of Mughal Empire earlier, means fragmentation of polity started in 18th century. How this started? One of the ways was these provinces under Subedar now started becoming independent kingdom in 18th century. Kingdom of Bengal, founded by Subedar of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan. Kingdom of Hyderabad, with capital Hyderabad, became independent under Nizamul Mulk, Subedar. Subba of Awadh became independent under Subedar Sadat Khan. So these became Awadh Kingdom, Bengal Kingdom, Hyderabad Kingdom. This was disintegration. So one of the ways by which political decentralization happened is Mughal Subbas becoming independent. So this type of kingdoms is called as successor kingdoms or succession states, because these kingdoms arose from Mughal Empire. So which were succession kingdoms? Bengal, Hyderabad, Awadh, three very important examples. So one of the ways by which 18th century political decentralization happened was through disintegration of Mughal Subbas into independent kingdoms. तो जो पहले सूबेदार थे, they became Nawab or Nizam. Hyderabad में it became Nizam. Nizam of Hyderabad. Who was the first Nizam of Hyderabad? Nizamul Mulk. ठीक है? Who was first Nawab of Bengal? In Bengal, Subedar became Nawab. Murshid Quli Khan. Awadh, Nawab, Sadat Khan. Sadat Khan, founder of Awadh Kingdom, who was Subedar of Awadh. So one of the ways by which 18th century political fragmentation happened was through emergence of what is called as succession or successor kingdoms. These are examples. Clear everyone? Other way, after decline of the Mughal Empire, after death of Aurangzeb, or even during time of Aurangzeb, when he was alive, in many areas we have revolt of Indians against Mughals. So revolts, these revolts became successful in carving out independent kingdom for themselves. For example, in Maharashtra area, a kingdom was found, that is Maratha's kingdom. Maratha's kingdom. Maratha's kingdom by revolt of Marathas. And this kingdom was founded by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, 1674, before 18th century, when Aurangzeb still was alive, in 17th century. So Marathas became independent kingdom. ठीक है? In Rajasthan area, we have revolt of Jats in Rajasthan. And they also became successful in carving out independent kingdoms for themselves. And this became Jat kingdom of Bharatpur, 18th century, after death of Aurangzeb. And this Jat kingdom Bharatpur was founded by Jat leader Badan Singh, 18th century, after death of Aurangzeb. ठीक है? In first half of 18th century, Jats were peasants of Rajasthan, adjoining areas. They revolted against Mughals and they became successful in establishing independent Jat kingdom, Bharatpur kingdom under rebel Badan Singh. ठीक है, क्लियर है? This is Western UP area. Western UP area. This is Western UP area. This is Delhi. This is Delhi. East of Delhi is Western UP. In Western UP, here we have Farrukhabad. In Western UP, we have revolt of Afghans. In this Farrukhabad area, 18th century, and they became successful in carving out independent kingdom of Farrukhabad. And this was founded by rebel Muhammad Khan Bangas. So Bangas kingdom, Afghan kingdom, came east of Delhi. This is Rohilkhand area. This is Rohilkhand area. Also became independent. Kingdom of Rohilkhand. Rohilkhand kingdom also became independent. Founder was Muhammad Khan Rohila. So Muhammad Khan Rohila, a founder of independent Kingdom of Rohilkhand in UP, that is political decentralization. Here we have Punjab Kingdom also became independent, founded by revolt of the Sikhs. So these all were called as rebel kingdoms. So two types of kingdoms arose, all political fragmentation, succession kingdom and rebel kingdoms. Rebel kingdoms like Marathas, like Jats, like Bangas Pathan, like Rohilas, like Sikh. Okay? So this is the way by which we have political decentralization of 18th century. तो मैप बना करके समझा देंगे. देखिए इसको. Take down one question. Start writing. 18th century India was 18th century India was 18th century India was an age of political fragmentation. An age of political fragmentation. Discuss the wage. Discuss the wage. Wage discuss करना है. Discuss the wage through which such political decentralization. Discuss the wage by which such political decentralization occurred by giving examples. By giving examples. समझ में आया क्या लिखना है? एग्जाम्पल भी देना है, वेज भी बताना है. टू वेज, सक्सेशन किंगडम्स, रेबल किंगडम्स, एग्जाम्पल दे देना है सबका. यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग. कितना? 10 मिनट्स. 150 वर्ड लिमिट. 150 वर्ड लिमिट, 10 मार्क्स. हम मैप जरूर बनाएंगे. तो ड्रॉ द मैप with examples. Start writing. This is the first question. And online, or watching this class on the YouTube, also are supposed to write the same question. आप लोग भी लिखिए. Those who are on the app and online, YouTube पे. Writing is very important. Class is about writing. क्लास पढ़ाने क्लास है नहीं है. राइटिंग का क्लास है आपका. अनुशासन नाम ही है. और टाइम मैनेजमेंट ठीक से करना आप लोग. Through. All completed. Your time is up now. All completed. You have to increase your speed because you have to write 20 questions within 3 hours. So if you're slow in writing, maybe missing some of the questions. And don't miss the question. Write every question, attempt every question, 20 questions. And that is one of the ways by which you can score good marks. Suppose you are skipping one question. You are skipping 15 marks, 10 marks. ठीक है? So don't miss the questions. सारा क्वेश्चन लिखना है, स्पीड ठीक कर लो थोड़ा. If 150 words are there, write 120 words. Even write 110 words, 105 words. But content should be all of the content. जैसे मैप बना दो, मैप बना करके जा दो कहाँ कहाँ एरियाज, which areas we rise of new kingdoms and which type of the kingdom these kingdoms were. ठीक है? कुछ समझ में आया कैसे लिखना होता है? This is the first question. So tomorrow we are again meeting and फिर उसको डिस्कस करेंगे दूसरा क्वेश्चंस. Other questions we can continue the class tomorrow. कितने लोगों का बाकी है? How many? Raise the hand. आप लोग स्पीड बढ़ाओ, आप स्पीड बढ़ा लो. ठीक है? इसका आंसर ही बताना होगा कैसे लिखना है, डिस्कस कर लेंगे टुमारो. मतलब कुछ तो आइडिया हुआ कि हाउ टू स्टार्ट, व्हाट इज डिमांड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. जिस दिन समझ में आएगा डिमांड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, 50% वर्क इज ओवर. डिमांड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन ही समझ में नहीं आता बच्चों को. पूछते हैं कुछ, लिखते हैं कुछ. जैसे इसमें लिखा पूछा मैंने क्वेश्चन, so they will start writing decline of the Mughals, region of decline of the Mughals. They are not asking region of decline of the Mughals. Decline पे क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. 18th century पे rise of kingdoms पे क्वेश्चन है, and that is the wage and with examples. ठीक है? क्लास समझ में आया सबको? क्लास इज क्लियर? क्या क्लास होगा ये? The synopsis of the class. So tomorrow continue the class. Thank you. Thanks. ऑनलाइन वाले भी बंद कर दो लिखना, आप फिर से लिखना, आप टाइम बढ़ा करके. स्टॉप राइटिंग द आंसर. फिर से लिखना आप लोग, 2 बार लिखो, 3 बार लिखो, स्पीड को मेंटेन करो. आपका नहीं हुआ है ना, फिर से लिखना, आप घर पे लिखना और थोड़ा टाइम स्पीड बढ़ाना. थोड़ा वॉच को रख लेना, देखना कितना मिनट लिख रहे हैं. इट शुड बी 10, 12, 13 मिनट्स बस. जब पहुंच जाएगा स्टॉप राइटिंग, दूसरा लिखना, रिपीट राइटिंग, टाइम को बढ़ाने के लिए. ठीक है? थैंक्स. टुमारो